Hello and welcome to the fourth video of the series of the Spitfire selection box. I think it's fourth video, lost count. Yeah, fourth video. Today we're going to be looking at the one which started it all off. We are going to be looking at the Airfix kit. Now, when I first came up with this project, if you missed the intro video, I decided to compare this kit to this one, which has been in the background the whole time, to see how the tooling has changed between the two, because I found the North American Mustang kit, which I've got over by the model desk, harder than I remembered. So I thought, let's see how the Spitfire has changed. But then I found the other selection starter sets, and I thought, okay, let's see what is the best one for all of them. So this is the Airfix one. You see them everywhere. I mean, I bought this in the garden centre, believe it or not. You can go into a toy shop, you can go into anywhere really and find an Airfix kit nowadays. So everyone's seen them, everyone knows what it is. Let's see how this one compares to ones we've seen previously. Let's go over to the model desk and find out. Come with me. Okay, we're over at the model desk and we have here the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 1A starter set by Airfix. And like I said, you've got the paints in here, you've got the glue, and you've got the brush. I've also got my knife again for track cutters. I've also brought up some liquid poly, which doesn't come in there, but I find sometimes that works a bit better. But it's up to you to decide that for yourself. Right, let's open it up and see what it looks like. Opening the box. For some reason people like seeing boxes opened on YouTube. I've never understood that one. If you're going to open a box, do it for yourself. Now, as I said, that's the box empty, but like all the others, you can't throw it away because you've got everything you need at the top. Let's get the glue out. Have a look at that. Right, that's glue. Pots of acrylic paint are quite nice, the acrylic paints. I'm getting used to them. I'm still more a fan of enamels for Airfix and all the other paints, but I'm getting used to them. There's your brush. Now the box is empty, but you can't throw it away because, like I say, you've got painting instructions on there. And this is actually from Number 92 Squadron, Royal Air Force, Marston, Kent, England, in case you didn't know where Kent is, in December of 1940. So, you know, it's December. I'm recording this 1st of December. It's seasonal. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Right, enough messing about, let's have a look at these. This is why you always have a knife with you, because they seal up the bag. So I say on Blue Peter, you know, if you're not sure, get your adult to help you. Watch your adult cut their thumb off. Normally good one. Right, put that down there by my bag. And we have 3 screws this time. Again, fairly simple actually. There's a few new bits that I can see, like this 26 is a new bit here. And the tail thing is a new bit. Other than that, it looks very similar. There's a couple of new bits here, but it looks very, very similar to the old Spitfires I'm used to. And you have in this bag here, you've got your canopy, which is only available in closed option. So that's what we're going to be doing. Like I say, this looks very similar to the old ones I've done. So I'm not expecting any sort of weird things like I had with the Mustang, which is that one there, which will be later on at some point, maybe, possibly, if you're good boys and girls. Right, nearly ready to go. Just last thing here, you have to be careful. Inside the instructions, they fold up a joining thing for the Airfix Club, which I was in at one point, which is quite nice actually. They give you special offers on kits and stuff like that, and so worth doing. It's $7.99 a year, I think. And then you have your decals in there, proper decals, which water slide, as they call them, and a sheet of tracing paper. I think it's just to keep dust off of them, but I think I just put it in for a laugh originally. You end up with loads of sheets of greaseproof tracing paper and you never know what to do with them. Right, RJ Mitchell's design, blah 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 blah. Right, now for the Airfix ones you do have a big, very big step-by-step, all A4 sections, which is good, you know, quite nice. See how everything goes together. One bit that is new, I was right, is there's more of a detailed cockpit. On the old one it was just a chair that you put in there. This is a whole cockpit. So yeah, let's have a look at this. Open it up, the right page, and prepare the songbooks. Right. One thing I have just noticed on this, the joystick is a separate piece on this A15 right here. I'm sorry that's up on the keyboard so you can't really see it, but it's where I can see it. A15 is a really tiny piece right here, and next to it you've got an antenna, which is another really tiny piece. So just be wary on this if you are giving it to a kid, but it might be a bit tricky. I mean, is there an age thing on here? Yeah, age 8+, so you might find out that they lost a bit somewhere. But to be honest, with the old Spitfires you had where you had no cockpit detail, it worked fine. So just letting you know. Another thing you will find with all of these Airfix kits, I've just cut out the first pieces right here. This is all you need for the first step. This is the pilot B24. This little frame thing, which I wasn't sure about, was B26, that's a floor spacer. Quite detailed actually. You've got the A2, the pilot seat, A15, the stick, and you've got the A9, which is the backboard, and A10, which is the front board, as I want to call it. All of these pieces require either painting before you put them in there, or leaving blank. I mean, A10, they're even saying for there, they want you to apply one of the waterslide decals, which is that tiny bit there. Which, you know, it's fine. I mean, I've done it before, but to be honest, once it's in there, you're not really going to look, because once it's up against the Spitfire wall like that, you're only going to see it if you get right down where the pilot is and look in at it. So I normally leave those out, because after the first one I found there's no point to it. For me, yet anyway, I just do this for fun. I don't do it to get every single detail right. So I'm not going to paint any of this apart from the figure, because I'm going to put him in later. I'm just going to assemble this all, and I'll let you see what you think. Okay, made a decision while I was there. I'm leaving the pilots out because I think that's only fair to the other kits, because the graphics one we done previously and the Hobby Boss one don't come with pilot figures. So I'm going to leave the pilots out of this one. They'll be used in other projects. So I've just glued that together as it is. It is setting now. The difference between this one and the graphics in the Hobby Boss we looked at previously is that the Hobby Boss, even though it was a glue together kit, still had little lugs that you could clip stuff together loosely with. so it would hold itself while it's doing it. This is all one surface on another, it's all loose fit, so you've got to work on it slowly. So this is probably being a very, very boring video, but there is a speed up, and I know I need to put music in them if I haven't already by the time this is put up on YouTube. But we will see what happens. Right, I'm going to take a quick little break, then we'll get right back to it. I'll see you in a minute. I did put the propeller together when you weren't there, but it's quite nice actually. The pin on this one, if you've ever built these before, it's actually moulded onto this circular plate at the back, so that's quite nice. And it also gave that time to set rock solid, so that's a little pilot seat. Interestingly, on the next part, which is the Spitfire fuselages, there's this little oxygen tank type bit here. Don't know how well it's coming out because I've only got the small screen on my camcorder, and it looks like in the instructions it sits behind the pilot, so it's one of those pieces that you're not going to see, as far as I can see anyway. But what the hell, I'll put these in and we'll see what they look like. See you in a bit. Okay, so there's those bottles in there, and as you see they are behind the pilot seat. So I mean, if I just turn this around, it's still setting, so just be gentle with it. Can you see them? That's it, that's where they are, right there. Can you see them at all? Waste of time moulding, in my opinion. Waste of time doing that moulding. Before some people ask, I know it says on all of these to paint the insides. I'm going to do that one in a bit, because I thought if I do the painting when you can see it, there's no point doing a painting video, is there? So I'm going to switch the camera off when I do the painting for this bit. So I'll catch you, and you, and you, and maybe you, in a little bit. See you soon. Okay, we're back doing the Airfix Spitfire. It's been a few days since the last video, but stuff happens. It's not a brilliant day and I use daylight to film, so I've got a little LED light up here giving us a bit more light down here so it's easy to see so far. Since you last together, we were here, I've put the fuselage together and all this lot. And I want to do this off camera because I had to paint all the insides, as you can see in there, but it doesn't really work. You have to glue this sub-assembly here to the fuselage on one side, then glue it the other side on with a propeller inside, which I've glued shut because I don't like them spinning. But as you can see, it's glued on one side. That's the side it was glued to. The other side, you've got this massive gap, and to get that to fit, I had to trim away some panel lines inside there. So it's not a brilliant fit. I mean, either I'm being stupid here, but like I say, what you need to do for a start of a hobby is just put it in, put it all together, there it is. Then you get the trickier ones. I don't think you should have the tricky ones to start with. But hey, let's carry on. Another thing I will not be doing, this wants you to paint every single piece. So if you get this, obviously follow the instructions. If I'm going to be painting every single piece, this one is going to be lasting until January. So, well, that's an exaggeration, but you know, I'm going to leave them unpainted because, to be honest, who's going to look? Yeah, and I just bashed up an Air Cobra with a Spitfire instruction. It's not often, I don't think ever, a Spitfire has taken out an Air Cobra. But there you go. Life is full of firsts. Let's get on to building this again. One thing actually that I had doing that was quite good. Normally I find that these bottom pieces on Airfix kits take a little bit of persuasion to get a good fit, because sometimes you need to file down the top bit there to make it fit in the socket, but this one actually went snap straight in. Really impressed with that. And also they have left, let's see if you can see this on camera, a little groove there and a little hole there, so if you wanted to do bits for a stand you can do them, which is quite cool. I like that. So let's leave them to dry for a bit. Going off camera. Okay, back again, that's all glued on. I stopped that because, let's be honest, watching glue dry is about as interesting as watching paint dry. So, I might start chopping these about a bit. My original plan was I would do them all live and just speed up bits and pieces, but I don't know. Seemed like a good idea, but doing some of the editing so far, I've only been using basically like Windows Media Player. I've somehow managed to get T on this model kit. That's how you can tell I'm British. I have managed to get T onto my model kit. Not coffee, don't drink coffee, not cola, not Pepsi, not even Mountain Dew. No, I get a cup of tea still on my kit. And plus I'm building Spitfires. Now this bit I wanted to do on camera because sometimes I have found, again with the Airfix kit, like I said with the underbody, sometimes the actual top wing doesn't go on as well, but this time it has actually gone together very well. So that's quite good. Gun ports line up as well, which is always good. I did do one of these once, not a Spitfire but something like that, and the gun ports, and the top wing were there and the bottom wing were there. I'm thinking, I've only got two guns, how do I not make them line up? You know, so strange. But there are stranger things in life. I don't know what yet, but you know, when I find it, I'll let you know. Let's pop this other wing on and see if we can make two in a row, which would be good. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be good. Ah. Hang on, might have a problem. Might have problem. No, I'm being a divvy, that's why. No, I'm not. Houston, we have a problem. That wing is not lining up. And this is why you should always do a dry run first. Michael is an idiot and did not done a dry run. There's a burr there. See if that works. Almost, there's something catching on the far side. I'm going to bend it. No. Need to do some trimming. That's better. Okay, let's glue this up again. Not as very much this time. And yes, I know my hands is in the way, but I need to keep that steady while I'm doing it. So tough luck. Okay, I need to just hold this in place, so catch you guys in a minute. Okay, as you can see, apart from the canopy, because I'm about to paint it, I have finished building the Airfix Spitfire. It is more complicated than I remember the old Airfix kits being. In some sense that's a good thing, in some respects it's a bad thing, I'll get onto that later. But let's have a look at the paints. I've had a look at the painting guide, which is on the back of the box. Like I said, I don't see why they just can't put it on the instructions, because rather than leave it on the back of this, because that would just make it so much easier. But yeah, that's their decision to do. All the paints you need are on there. They may give you them in the kits: 29, 30, 33 and 90. And I have started marking out in pencil on here where the camouflage goes on the top. But what we're going to be doing for the trial of a paint. Just going to be using the 33 black, because this is a 1941 and one wing was painted black and the inside the other was painted this sort of beige. So we're going to paint this one black just for the trial. So let's get into these paints and see what they look like. Fail! Paint all down my arm. Back in a bit. Oh yeah, that's one thing they don't tell you about. You will find with these plastic pots sometimes they give you, the Airfix ones especially, but when you pop them off sometimes the paint splatters out, so just be aware of that one. I've only found it a problem with the humble paints that come with the Airfix kits. The other ones, the acrylics and the enamels that you can buy, fine, you just pop them off nice and simple. These ones have a tendency to splatter a bit. They do give you a humble number 2 paintbrush, complete with plastic guard. Complete. Ah, there it is. Bye bye plastic guard. Right. First of all, it is once again a gloopy mess. Gloopy, gloopy, gloopy mess. But we'll get our little Thomas Tank Engine paint stirrers, and you will find there's some pigment on the lid, depending on where the kit's been stored, because more likely than not it's been hanging on a peg, and that means all the pigment will settle to one side and sit in the lid and this, that and the other. So always make sure you give them a good stir. And you can shake these as well. They do recommend you normally do shake them, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to use my Will's original wrapper just to put the paint on. Right, I have marked this out on here. It's this wing we're going to be painting, so I'm going to get on with that, and I'll see you in just a little while. Enjoy the fast-paced action! Okay, right. Why am I trying to turn it off? That is just the black painted with just a weak wash, because I should have shaken that as well, third pass paint, just to mix the pigment up, but I didn't, so it's come out with a weak wash, so it's going to have to be done twice. But you can immediately see the difference that little splash of paint makes. So that's what I'm doing for this one. But the paints themselves, I've never had, apart from the splashing issues, I've never had any problems with any paints you get from a starter kit for Airfix. But you need to have a bit of patience with them. I'm still learning to like these because I mainly use enamels. But yeah, they're good. Okay, I'm going to finish off painting, and I'll do a conclusion in just a little bit, I hope. Okay, I've painted up the Airfix Spitfire. I've completed it. The only thing I haven't done is put the transfers on, because they're waterslide ones and I'd like to take my time on those. So I just thought I'd do a review of it now before they go on, because I've done these before and I know they're alright, and I'll show you them later on. But here she is, the Airfix Spitfire. Now, like I say, it's the classic one that most people would get, and it is a Spitfire. Airfix have always done very good Spitfires. This one has got a few bits, I think, for a starter out into a hobby. You might find it a bit complicated. Like I said, the cockpit, the office space they call it, in there is a bit tricky if you're doing it first time. But other bits I did like, might be rudder you could pose. I like so the posable rudder. I like that. The flats on the wheels. I like those. One thing I didn't like too much as well was this rear trailing wheel. So I don't know how well these coming out because I'm looking at a small screen on my camcorder. But that has to go into a slot on the back of the aircraft, and it's a little bit of a tight fit. I had to wiggle it a few times and see what's going on. Sorry about the lorry backing up outside. Not much you can do in these situations, but there you go. Better than cages going past. So, would I recommend the Airfix Spitfire? Yes. I'd recommend it to all ages, but the proviso I would add would be the age rating on the box says 8 years old, or 8 plus. I'd say if you're giving it to an 8-year-old, they've just turned 8, it's their first kit, watch them doing it, give them advice. Because this thing, the old ones, which I was going to compare it against, you can build, I've built a couple of these without even looking at the instructions. So literally, you throw them together, you can see what goes where. I had to refer to instructions every step of the way with this. So it is more detailed, I'll give it that. But I think if you're starting into the hobby, which is why you'd be getting the starter kit, it's a bit too detailed. But it's a very good kit. Airfix, still in the running for best Spitfire. Let's see what Revell have to offer.